Hi guys, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Stellar. So we'll quickly look into both the weekly and daily charts and see what stages of Wyckoff that Stellar is at, plus any particular time points that a breakout event would happen. Let's start it. So here in the weekly chart we see we're still at the mid-late stage of a distribution cycle. Previously we had second test in early July, but then the downtrend is continuing its way along this light blue downward channel. So this leg upward, like a slow edging towards the ceiling of this downward channel box, is a normal move. So normally we would see the price bounces between the two edges of the downward channel or upward channel. So all these channels, the ceilings and the bottoms are basically like so either you can picture this, I used to say ping pong, but it's more like an air hockey to me now. So basically the puck bounces between the edges of the rink or the table. We play air hockey. So here, if the price continues to trade sideways, because for the past 5 weeks we have seen the price being suppressed under this light blue key level of 41 cents. So eventually when we come to sometime near the end of November, early December, a breakout event would happen. When we get to the daily chart, I'll talk about that in more detail, because the date over here is just showing the beginning of the week. So when we get to the daily chart, we'll see exactly what the date is. So this possibility or probability hasn't changed. 25% towards an other second test, 75% towards a sign of weakness at a level lower than the yellow or around the yellow key level of 24 cents 50. And just to quickly check the Bollinger Band current squeeze, currently the purple lines are way outside of the orange. So let's see whether that's the case for daily. For daily, it's much closer. And to me, if it's continued to trade sideways, then I would consider this a squeeze has been forming and it's in early stage already. So eventually the purple lines, well, currently the top purple line is already touching the orange. That's already beginning. It's just a matter of this line at the bottom. So if it eventually continue to trade along or between this yellow dashed line and the horizontal light blue line, then the squeeze will happen. When the squeeze happen, if you're not new to my sessions, you know a bigger price swing would come. So just to quickly show, so these white not white, like these shades at the back indicate it's getting closer to a bigger price swing, like what we had earlier. So that's the example. It's a free indicator, Bollinger, or you can search BB Kotner. It will pop up or in TradingView. So here in the daily chart, previously we said it's a 50-50 scenario where it's edging towards a second test or upthrust for the daily time frame, or it's going to come down for another accumulation cycle. We also discussed about two hypotheses or scenarios. One is the current, well, back then last week when we talked about this hasn't happened yet, so we were still at this candle back then. I mentioned that it may be forming an LPSY, or in scenario 2, the purple case, if we have already entered a high level accumulation, so much higher than what we had back in mid-late June. Anyway, we expect a peak to happen and that it will come down, and indeed it has happened. So I can remove the question marks now. It's only a matter of whether it's the purple scenario or the red scenario. I'll keep the question mark for the purple because it may not be the case, but there's still a chance, so let's keep it there. When that happens, we'll know and can tell what exactly that is. So I see a message. Using Wyckoff tells me the bull run won't start until November. Hey, rock and roll, welcome again. Um, well, I tend to look at the weekly chart more. Um, so November, I wouldn't say we so sure about the time frame, but this cross over here that I'm about to touch on it. Let's get to that point and then I'll come back to your question because it's interrelated. So this blue line crossing the yellow dashed line over here is somewhere around the beginning of December, like the 1st or 2nd, so it's very close here. So by the end of November or somewhere around that time, because the breakout won't wait the fairy tip to happen, it always, well, not 100% of the times, but most of the times it is not going to edge towards this fairy tip before the breakout happens. So the thing is, if the price continues to be suppressed by this light blue key level like it did previously, and the price continue to trade along this downward trend box, this is one way that it evolves to the tip of the triangle, or it can come back to retest this white dashed line and then bounce up to the ceiling and edge towards this, because it has already done this twice before. So back in late September and beginning of September, late August, this level has been tested twice already. So it's the path towards this preliminary support. So this can happen before this, so it can bounce up before it comes further down for the preliminary support. So that's two scenarios how it can edge towards this triangle. Obviously, if you say it's going to break deeper than the 33 cents green key level, that's a more pessimistic assumption, but then I won't say 0% chance, but slimmer than the others. Okay, back to Rock and Roll's question. So the breakout can still happen earlier than end of November. So if it breaks out, if it hits this yellow dash line, doesn't break below it this time, like what we did back in end of August and near the end of September, and it bounces strongly to challenge the blue key level, then I wouldn't say it's a bull run, but at least it's showing a sign of coming back to retest the buying climax level we had back in late July. But in the weekly time frame, if it comes up to show us a second test, which we expect there's still a chance, it's still within the same distribution cycle. So unless it's, I don't know, the time frame is very tricky, because when we get closer to the end of the year, maybe interest rate dropping or any other kind of stimulus that the countries around the world is doing, that could become some sort of news being like boosted by, I don't know, the composite man, the whales, basically luring people to FOMO in, and that would trigger an upthrust. That's totally possible, but then this is not a second test, but an upthrust higher than the buying climax. That can still happen, because we haven't seen an upthrust or upthrust distribution yet for Stellar in the current bull run, I would say. So we technically still within this bull run, and it can go higher. Just that when we look at the volume and all this currently, it doesn't seem like there's much of a strength as of this moment. But who knows, right? We're talking about things a few months down the line. Even though there aren't any squeeze or particular time frame that the lines are crossing each other, if there's a news that's super bullish that pops up all of a sudden, then all these prices will eventually shoot up. Like one example, if the Fed or Europe, the EU, or China comes out and say they're going to lower interest rate by 0.5%, then boom, the market will react, and that's not something we normal people would know, right? Until they announce it. So that's some of the things that out of our control. So this is stellar, and as long as it's still staying within this downtrend, these intermediate bounces, it's understandable. Like I said, it's like a air hockey table. The price is just like a puck that bounces between the edges of the table. So thanks for joining me.